Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now, the ES trading in a very narrow range to begin the day, heading into the RTH Open. 61.5% of ADR, just 39 points traded here. This is after two high-range days here, big-time drops over the last couple of days. The failure to hold above 4,200 yesterday was significant and opens up the potential to drop all the way back to the recent support here at 40.80. So we could still have more downside up ahead. Any lower high this morning or a failed push back above the previous close could suggest a continuation to the downside. So overall, any morning strength could be seen as an opportunity to sell for a shot at 40.80 up ahead. Now keep in mind, we do have some numbers here coming up after the RTH Open, services PMI, manufacturing PMI, and new home sales that could trigger a bit of volatility here. If we take a look here at the NQ is basically break even on the day, right at a very narrow range, 51% of average range at the moment. Again, a 2-day decline out of this narrow 4 to 5 day range here. Price almost coming back to that support level already. Talking about the 12.8 level. We got already to 1300, but 12.8 is about that support right there. 13K is important as well. And a failure to hold this zone here could open up a return back toward the FOMC key level below and back to the 12.2 level, which is the previous year's low price. So we could be looking at a major retest of levels below. So big time levels down here. How's the market going to respond after this pullback? Do we see a stronger low come in, a higher low, and a push back up? Or does turning down off these upper trend lines here suggest much more weakness ahead to new lows? So something we got to watch out for. Right now, keep an eye on morning strength, as any signs of weakness there could lead to afternoon weakness. Taking a look at crude oil. Right now, crude oil up about a 1.5%. The idea with this one was the previous session here got a failed low, 3-day highs all kind of near each other, and above these 92s opens up a continuation toward the recent high, which puts you somewhere at around 95s here, this recent high. A couple weeks ago, we saw a very similar pattern here, very similar to what we're seeing develop right now, and the idea was any morning weakness could be bought for a continuation up. Yesterday afternoon in our trading room, we were looking at 90 to 94 as the potential push higher. So looking for morning weakness here and signs of rejection for a continuation higher, something very similar to what we saw last time. Any failure to get through 92s, though, would suggest remaining in the range below. Overall, this thing could be headed higher on a 1-day basis, maybe 2-day basis, but we are still in a very clear downtrend, and any rally has been rejected in tremendous fashion here, which has led to big time continuations down. So even though we're directionally biased over the next 1 or 2 days here, that could turn into weakness or an opportunity to sell from a swing perspective. Taking a look at Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin up 1.7%, kind of a rest after battle type of pattern where you have a significant sell-off and 2 narrow days here at the lower edge of that range. This can tend to be a continuation pattern, but at the same time, 2-day narrow range is building energy for the next move to come. If you see right here, you have a very clear level right at around that 20,800. And that's been a very clear range. You can see how it's held off that zone here on multiple tests. You also see back here the FOMC key level from June is right there. It's a big time level here because a failure here opens up a retest of lows with a shot at busting through those levels. If it can hold this zone, that could be an interesting support level that perhaps develops higher than what we've seen and could finally open up this upper area here between 25 and 28K. So again, price really needs to get above this pivot high 25.3 in order to open up as high as 28K and perhaps even 32,000 up ahead. But this level right here is going to be very important in the short term, so keep an eye on this zone right here, 21K, as a failure here to hold this zone could open up new lows very, very quickly. Ethereum here showing a little bit of strength right now after yesterday's weakness. This one dropping down as low as the 1528s. One thing we mentioned about this one is 1300. Very important right here, 1300. You can see price traded one day through it, held below it, gapped above it, held, and has continued to make new highs. We've seen quite a pullback here recently. This thing rallied 100% from 1,000 to 2,000 and then dropped from 2,000 back to 1,500, so a big time pullback here. Now, are we going to find higher support? Perhaps we can. Again, as deep as 1,300, but really somewhere in the 14 to 1,500 zone could offer an opportunity to build into a position for a continuation higher, perhaps back to recent highs, maybe even beyond that on a longer term basis. Right now, in the short term, we are seeing further weakness here, but sitting right on support. Got to watch to see how price plays off of this zone. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.